You're tired. Good. That feeling in your body, the heaviness, the soreness, the resistance, that's not a warning sign. That's not a reason to stop. That's the test. Most people hear fatigue and think it's time to rest. They hear discomfort and think it's time to back off. They feel tired and assume something is wrong. Nothing is wrong. You're just at the point where excuses start talking. That voice saying, "Not today," that's not wisdom. That's weakness trying to negotiate. Because here's the truth no one wants to hear. If you only train when you feel good, if you only work when you're energized, if you only show up when it's convenient, you will stay exactly where you are. Strength is not built in comfort. Strength is built when the body says no and the mind says continue. The gym doesn't care that you're tired. The iron doesn't care about your mood. Life doesn't pause because you didn't sleep enough. And neither should you. Being tired isn't a flaw. It's a requirement. That's the cost of progress. Every strong person you admire, they trained tired, they worked tired, they executed tired. Not because they were superhuman, but because they were disciplined. So if you're tired right now, good. That means you're exactly where you need to be. Fatigue, ice not a stopsagn. Fatigue is information, not a command. It tells you you're working. It tells you you're pushing. It tells you you're leaving comfort behind. Weak minds treat fatigue like danger. Strong minds treat it like data. You don't stop because you're tired. You stop when the mission is complete. Most people quit at the first sign of resistance. They confuse discomfort with damage. But fatigue is where adaptation happens. That's where the body changes. That's where the mind hardens. Train tired. Learn what you're capable of. Overcome for comfort is seductive. Comfort whispers. Skip today. Take it easy. You've done enough. Comfort is not your friend. Comfort keeps you average. Discipline doesn't negotiate. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It asks one question: what needs to be done? And then it does it. When you train tired, you're not just building muscle, you're building authority over yourself. Call to action, choose discipline. Every time. Anyone can train when they're fresh. Anyone can lift when they're motivated. The gym reveals who you are when you're exhausted. The iron exposes lies. It doesn't respond to intention, it responds to effort. Every rep done tired rewires your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start becoming someone who executes. Quitting always feels logical. You can justify it, you can rationalize it, you can explain it. But growth doesn't happen in logic, it happens in commitment. That moment when you want to quit, that's the moment that matters. Because every time you push past it, you teach your mind a new rule. I don't quit when things get hard. Call to action, one more rep, one more step. You don't rise to motivation. You fall to habit. Relentless people don't feel different. They act different. They don't ask if they're tired. They ask if the work is done. Identity is built through repetition. Train tired enough times, and tired stops being an excuse. Call to action, become reliable. Emotion is noise. Execution is clarity. You don't need to feel ready, you need to move. Discipline removes debate, and when debate disappears, freedom appears. Call to action, no excuses. Execute. You're going to be tired again tomorrow.
Next week, month.
That doesn't change. What changes is how you respond. Most people will listen to fatigue. They'll slow down, they'll back off. They'll quit quietly and call it self-care. You won't. You'll understand the truth. Tired doesn't mean stop. Tired means you're working. And every time you train anyway, you separate yourself from the crowd. Not loudly, not dramatically, but permanently. Because discipline compounds. And one day you'll look back, stronger, sharper, unrecognizable, and realize it wasn't talent that got you there. It was this decision. To train anyway, so get up, get under the weight, and execute. Tired, train anyway, and nothing can stop you. So here's where we land. You're tired, not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You're tired of starting over, tired of promising yourself, this time will be different, tired of knowing what you should do and not doing it. Good, because exhaustion strips away fantasy. When you're tired, the lies fall apart. When you're tired, motivation disappears. When you're tired, only truth remains. And the truth is simply you were never meant to rely on motivation. Motivation is fragile. It needs perfect conditions. It needs good moods and good days and good weather. But life doesn't work like that. Life is early alarms, late nights, missed sleep, stress, pressure, pain, and if you only perform when things feel good, you will spend most of your life standing still. That's why tired matters. Tired is the doorway. Because when you're tired, you finally stop pretending. You stop negotiating. You stop asking how you feel. And you're forced to answer a better question. Who are you going to be anyway? The version of you that listens to fatigue, or the version that moves despite it? The gym answers that question every day. The iron doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care about your backstory. It doesn't care how hard your day was. It only responds to effort. You either lift it or you don't, and that honesty scares people. That's why most quit quietly. They don't fail loudly, they fade. They convince themselves they'll come back later when they have more energy, more time, more motivation. Later never comes, but discipline does. Discipline shows up when motivation is dead. Discipline shows up when you're sore, tired, stressed, and annoyed. Discipline shows up without emotion. And that's why discipline works. Every time you train when you don't feel like it, something shifts. Not in your body, in your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries. You become someone who executes. And that change is permanent because muscles fade if you stop training, but discipline rewires who you are. That's the real transformation, not abs, not numbers on a bar, not compliments, self-respect. The kind that comes from knowing you didn't quit on yourself, even when quitting would have been easy. Especially then. See, anyone can train when they're fresh. Anyone can work when they're excited. Anyone can start strong. But almost no one can continue when they're tired. That's why tired is the filter. That's why tired separates people. It separates talkers from doers, hope from action, potential from reality. And right now, right here, you're at that line. You can close this video and go back to comfort, back to excuses, back to tomorrow, or you can do the one thing that actually changes everything, move anyway. Not perfectly, not heroically, just honestly, one workout, one session. One decision made without negotiation, because the goal isn't to feel unstoppable. The goal is to act even when you don't. That's strength. That's discipline. That's how people who look unbreakable are made. Quietly, repeatedly, under pressure. So remember this, you don't get strong by waiting to feel ready. You don't build confidence by feeling confident. You don't earn discipline by thinking about it. You earn it by doing the work when everything in you wants to stop. And if you're tired right now, good. That means you're exactly where excuses lose their power. Stand up. Get under the weight. Do the work you're trying to avoid. Not because it feels good, because it's required. And if you do that consistently, there will come a day when fatigue no longer scares you. Because you'll know the truth. Tired doesn't control you. You control you. Now stop listening. Start moving. Tired. Good.
Train anyway.